Tahoe Joe is a chain of steakhouses in California. It also just happens to be the nickname given to Bigfoot in tonight's movie. Found in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Tahoe Joe is a ruthless killer and thought to be the cause of many missing persons in the area. Can our heroes of the story track down the beast and get some answers? Or will they come out with more questions? Let's find out. Tahoe Joe follows filmmakers Michael Rock and Dylan Brown, real men's men that are ex-military. Michael was a Green Beret, and he still teaches survival classes to those who want to learn. One of his students is Tomah Smith, a Bigfoot enthusiast and a believer, who's probably only taken Michael's class so he can hunt Tahoe Joe. Well, either Michael isn't a good teacher or Tomah wasn't a very good student, because he ends up going missing. After the police fail to find his body, Tomah's son, Jaden, reaches out to Michael to see if he'd be willing to help join the search. It turns out that he has an open mind, and although he doesn't believe in Sasquatch or anything like that, Michael agrees to help and search the woods along Lake Tahoe.
Trying to find a Sasquatch named Tahoe Joe.
And Dylan decides to join in, I guess just for the fun of it. Michael and Jaden talk on the phone, and Jalen agrees to send some things over that might help out. While they wait on the package, Dylan goes and does his own research, getting in contact with some local hunters to see if they have any stories. As luck would have it, one does. This guy Shane sends him a video of his encounter. And, yep, it's a Bigfoot all right. No way that's a bear. Of course, this is early in the movie, and we aren't going to get a nice, up-close, clear shot of it just yet. But from what I'm seeing, I think it looks like a guy in a ghillie suit. Soon after that, Michael receives the package in the mail from Jalen. He opens it up and sees all kinds of news articles and a flash drive. He pops it in his computer and plays the footage Tomah captured. After a bit of an introduction, we see him at the trailhead. He's bound and determined to find Tahoe Joe. In his mind, the creature exists, and he's here to prove it. After hiking for a little while, Tomah doubles back and finds big footprints in the mud.
I'm a size 14.5.
He sits down for a little bit to get his bearings, and in the bushes, right behind him, we see the creature that he's looking for get up and walk away. It's pretty cool because Bigfoot was sitting there the whole time, but I didn't even see him till he moved, showing how well these creatures could camouflage. Anyway, he sets up camp and hangs out there for a while, talking to his son via the camera. On one of these recordings, Tomah actually sees Tahoe Joe run through his camp. He chases after him, but he can't catch up. Even so, he's pumped at getting the footage he came here for.
That was Tahoe Joe, without a doubt.
The final night, he's asleep in his tent, just minding his own business, when Tahoe Joe rips open the tent and grabs Tomah. That's when the footage cuts out, and we're back with Michael. That's enough to convince him. He needs to go out into the woods and look for Tomah. Even though, I mean, come on, let's face the facts. He's long gone.
I know.
So they fly Jalen out to meet with them, and surprisingly, he agrees. Probably more surprising is that his mom let him fly alone to meet two men who want to take him out into the woods, but okay. They get to talking, and one thing obviously sticks out with Jalen. Besides his rather stiff acting, he has a trach. He explains after the police failed to find his father, Jalen decided to go out and look for him himself. And he did find something. He took off and ran into a branch. Then he woke up in the hospital. His vocal cords were paralyzed, and he needs a trach to talk. So, basically, Bigfoot did it? The three of them drive out into the woods just to get the lay of the land, and Jalen can't even leave the car. He's just too scared. So Michael agrees to let him stay at his house with his kids so that they can still go out the next day. And
All right.
that's what happens.
It's fine. I get it.
Michael and Dylan meet Shane at the parking lot and prepare for the hike. Shane is the hunter that Dylan found earlier on the internet. This is the first time either of these men have met Shane face to face. And based on first impressions, there's a few alarm bells going off. Mainly the fact that he's already started drinking. Even so, he's the only one who knows these woods, so they have to trust him.
I mean, I don't have the shakes yet. It's not even noon.
They follow him deeper and deeper up the mountain until it's time to get out and hike. That's when Shane informs these two ex-military dudes, no guns. That's right. Even if they need something to protect them from wild cats or bears, Shane is adamant about it. No guns. I think I would turn back now saying, thanks, but no thanks, man. This guy you met online is just gonna take you up into the woods and rob you. Or worse. But these guys are bound and determined to find Tomah or Tahoe Joe. So they follow his rules. The three men hike for a while, and at this point, I think I'd be more worried about ticks than Bigfoot. As they talk, they learn a little bit more about each other. The vibe coming off Shane is that he's a conspiracy theory nut.
And what exactly is this?
Sometimes I get responses.
He's always talking about how they are watching and how electronics don't work up here. He might be onto something because the brand new drone Michael brought with him starts to malfunction and becomes a paperweight. A little later, the men notice that Shane does in fact have a handgun on him. Okay guys, fun's over. It's time to leave. Just turn around and start walking the other direction. But do they listen? Nope. Well, they finally make it to camp and start setting up their tents. As it gets darker and darker, Shane is getting drunker and drunker, and Michael decides it's time to take away his gun. Alpha males fight for dominance until Shane eventually wanders away into the woods alone. Hours go by and they haven't heard from him. The guys aren't really worried that Bigfoot got him, but more scared that he'll come back and shoot him. Well, Dylan wanders off to take a leak, and he eventually finds Shane's dead body. Michael pops up out of nowhere and reminds Dylan to keep calm, and they search him for his gun, which is nowhere to be found. They get back to camp and find a severed hand just laying there, so they book it. Although I'm assuming Dylan still has to pee. Maybe he pissed his pants at this point. I know I would have. They run for a while, getting separated. Mike makes it back to his car and his guns, while Dylan just gets lost, going deeper and deeper into Squatch territory.
Mike!
Eventually coming face to face with the beast himself. All Dylan could do is be quiet and just hope to God Tahoe Joe doesn't get him. And, well, that didn't really work. The beast grabs Dylan, but somehow he's able to get away. Mike calls out for him, and eventually the two see each other. But Joe is chasing Dylan and about to catch up. He drops down and Michael shoots the beast, causing a whole bunch of alarms and lights to go off. Shane was right all along. This is some sort of government conspiracy. Well, with the beast injured, the two men are able to make it back to the car. Tahoe Joe comes back and slams into it, but the guys are able to make their escape and quickly upload their footage to the cloud, so everyone can know the truth. And that was Tahoe Joe. As far as low-budget, found-footage Bigfoot movies go, it's not too bad. Michael and Dylan are both likable guys, and it seems like they didn't have a script to follow, but just talked and stayed in character the whole time. I like the little government twist at the end, and during the end credits, they set it up for a sequel, with a park ranger finding the guy's footage and investigating a little further. They tried to make sense of some of the technical aspects of found footage. For example, they say that they're uploading everything to the cloud. But if that's the case, how did Tomah upload his last clip? He would have been dead meat. And they say several times that there's no cell service up there, so it didn't make sense. I also don't really care for the look of the creature that much. Like I said earlier, it does look like a guy in a ghillie suit. And when they got up close, all you saw was what looked like teeth in a guy with a ghillie suit. But I get it. Tight budget, and they had to work with what they had. If you're in the mood for a competent Bigfoot movie with a catchy title, Tahoe Joe just rolls right off the tongue. Give it a watch. And if you live in the area, go to a Tahoe Joe steakhouse and let me know how it was. I give it 3 Tahoe Joes out of 4.
Hey, so have you guys ever heard of Tahoe Joe or a Sasquatch in the Sierra Nevadas?
Ooh, totally.